Yo, what's going on, guys? Mr. Brood here. Today, we're going to be reviewing some Charlga gameplays against some of the top players in the world. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm also a little bit sick right now, so I do apologize if my voice sounds a little bit different. Real quick with the deck overview. The premises of this deck is just so that the Spirit Passage talent that I'm using on Charlga allows me to play my win condition, which is the Gargoyle, for +1 level and under stealth mode. And that's predominantly how we're going to get most of our damage. Prowler is our secondary win condition, and it's really good in the current meta to deny Dark Miners and to pressure the side tower or just to get direct damage on the main tower. Huntress is kind of I had to put a 5 unit in there, and Huntress just happens to be my highest level 5 unit. You guys can choose any other 5 gold cost unit in there, but I think Huntress does its job in this deck because we don't really have any other anti-air. So yeah, Huntress does provide some anti-air for us as well. The very first game here, it's against none other than Filzy, who is currently the #1 player in the world. I'm going to just start the replay. Yep. Yeah, Filzy comes up with a lot of new ideas and things that you don't normally see. In this case, he's using Tirion, but I don't know what exactly talent he's running or deck composition. So I'm just going in a bit aggressive with my safe pilot and things, just to try to force out what is running. I didn't really have a better play anyway. During the game, I don't actually know he's running the Consecrate talent on Tirion, which nobody ever uses. I only found out after the game, to be honest. Yep, as expected, he shuts down my first Gargoyle push quite easily. I mean, the Deep Breath killed the Charlga, which is unfortunate, but I was a bit slow. I don't expect Tirions to normally do damage, but this talent actually did quite a bit of damage. I didn't feel it during the game, but after the fact, as you can see, it took quite a bit off of my tower. Yeah, this is the first time I've versed this talent, so I guess I was generally taking it pretty easy on Tirions. So yeah, we're going with our miner or the Quillbore to deny his miner. Harvest Golem is really good in the current meta because of the narrow lanes and the Rocket Tower providing AoE coverage. And I think it's a 3-second stun, as you guys can see. So my best bet to deal with the Harvest Golem is to kill it away from his tower. I should have Holy Nova'd here, but I didn't. And as a result, my Prowler died. I probably should have Holy Nova'd there. I was focusing more to support my Gargoyle push. I think that's my first stealth Gargoyle push. Yep, so we're going with our own safe pilot, and our Gargoyle kind of sneaks through. He also has the Shaman with I think the healing totem ability. But the Gargoyle got a couple of hits on. I think in this game, my Gargoyle was still level 8. I do have it as level 9 now, but that extra level could really feel the difference. Nevertheless, we kind of caught up on the damage. But I know he's got the healing totem on Shaman, so I can't really relax. In fact, if you factor that in, I'm actually not in much of an advantage with damage. I'm going with the Gargoyle at the back again. Yeah, he Deep Breath, which is great because it doesn't do too much to the Gargoyle, but it does lose its stealth. He's using it to cycle, so I guess it is a good play from his part. He does the Whirl Pegs, which we can circle the Contrast around, and I go in with the Prowler as well to try to apply some damage because it's double time. Here it's an interesting exchange. Before this, I didn't know the Harvest Golem stun actually affected air units. I had thought for some reason the Harvest Golem stun only affects ground units. As you can see, I was aiming all my AoE things at the Harvest Golem, which killed it, and that stunned my Gargoyle. I should have actually not tried to kill the Harvest Golem with my Save Pilot and Holy Nova, and so that my Gargoyle can actually get another hit on the tower. In hindsight, that is. But yeah, at this point, he's in a damage lead, and this is probably my last Gargoyle, and yeah, he managed to shut it down before he could even make to the tower. Yeah, Tirion would single-handedly shut down the whole ground push, and at this point, even though we didn't really make too much critical errors, but yeah, because of the early damage we took from the Tirion, and there was not much we could do in terms of a comeback if our Gargoyle couldn't make it to the tower. Here we have our second match, which is also against a Tirion. I think Hello World is a top 20 or 25 player. I think I versed him right after Filzy. I can't remember. This was a few days ago. But I thought I played this pretty well. I was pretty on edge, or quite warmed up, you can call it. Quibble was able to deny his Dark Iron Miner. So at this stage, I think I'm just trying to figure out what win condition he's running. I know he definitely has Deep Breath because I've versed him in the past. I did my Charlga placement like this just to, so that it makes it a little bit harder for him to aim his spells if he does have Deep Breath. But unfortunately, he still got me, including my Prowler. I probably could have improved my Prowler placement or put it towards the higher end of the deploy zone. He's running the standard Divine Shield talent on Tirion. Yeah, we had to use Cobra on defense, so unfortunately had to give up 2 gold. I mean, it's arguable I probably could have ignored that Tirion, but after the last game against Filzy, I didn't want to give up too much damage early on against Tirion. Looks like he's just cycling Deep Breath at this point, so I decided to go in with Cobra and Save Pilot. The Bandits are really good for defense, and he was able to shut down that push relatively easy. In the meantime, I managed to sneak a Gargoyle down, but we didn't really have enough gold. Unfortunately, the chaos wasn't in our favor. I had to play a 5 gold Prowler to shut down his Tirion, which means we didn't have enough gold to support our Gargoyle push, and he was able to shut it down for a positive trade. I think, fortunately, I was able to play my Huntress and snipe his Griffin and Dark Iron Miner, so we got something back there. I decided to go in with the Quill War just to get some distraction and some hits in. I didn't feel like I need my Huntress all that much in this game because he doesn't have, aside from Griffin, I don't think he had any air units. Caught us in a bad cycle, so I had to use my Miner to kite, but the Tirion decided to stop halfway after a heal. Got a few hits in with Divine Shield. I think even with Divine Shield, it doesn't do too much damage. Took some Save Pilot value there. Unfortunately, his Miner still got all the mines. At this stage, we're behind in damage, but I know that if I'm able to get the next Gargoyle push onto the tower, I can potentially even the playing field a little bit. With 30 seconds left, I know that's pretty much my last Gargoyle push. Possibly get one more, but I don't know if I can cycle back to the stealth mode of my Gargoyle. So realistically, I was counting this as the last one. Got a pretty good counter push going. I probably should have Huntress there, I think, but instead I went Holy Nova. Should have saved Holy Nova closer to the base. Yeah, anyway, we got one hit in, but yeah, I think I would have got more if I played this a little bit differently. I was just cycling through my things fast and try to get some damage in or try to kill his Tirion, but that's probably a bad save pilot because he was still under Divine Shield. Was able to get a Gargoyle back, luckily enough. And the best thing to do is actually follow up with Prowler to kill their save pilot. But this is a really critical exchange. If I can slow it down a little bit, um, this is where if my Gargoyle was one level higher, I could have survived that save pilot hit and maybe, just maybe, get an extra hit on the tower. And that's all the difference it could make sometimes. But unfortunately, we didn't get the hit in, and yeah, we lost by just that thin margin. Here we have our third match, which is against General Drak, and this one the levels are actually even, so you guys will see it's just a lot easier when the levels are even. We start with a Gargoyle at the back. It's always good to start at the back just to see what your opponents do. He kind of goes in with his Death Ball combo. Charlga has a really good matchup against General Drak for the very simple reason that I can just root him in place. He uses Blizzard, which is surprising. I thought he would have used it against Charlga, but since he did that, I placed my Huntress. I can stack my troops, including my Prowler, without having to worry too much about giving him value. Since we've got a Gargoyle on the other lane, I decided to pressure his side tower as well, because I know he's either going to defend one or the other, and whichever way it is, we're either going to get a lot of damage or we're going to take his side tower. That's probably... I would have played the Dark Miner to deny my Miner, but yeah, it's... Unfortunately for him, our core board denied his Dark Miner, and we ended up getting all the gold in the middle. So yeah, at this point, we dealt a lot of damage as well as taking the side tower, just because he overcommitted on that first General Drak push. Actually, I think the Blizzard was an overcommit. I'm not sure. The biggest question mark was he Blizzard my Gargoyle at my own side tower. I don't know what that was. That would be the one single move that cost him the game, in my opinion. But yeah, as you can see, we was able to win this very easily. Next game we have against this player who's using Cairne. I think he is also top 20, 25, around that mark. I think previously, early on in the season, or maybe last season I versed him, he was still level 9 for most of his things. We have our Gargoyle in the starting hand, so I decided to use it. Why not? Yeah, and this is actually the first game I've seen his Spear Trolls level 10, so that kind of caught me off guard. So previously I was always able to just save pilot and kind of did it out of habit. But yeah, as you guys can see, with one level higher in a Cairne deck, it cannot kill a Spear Troll with the healing ability. Managed to shut him down with Prowler and Huntress. He does a good job here in attracting our units over. Luckily our Huntress didn't get caught and it kind of went to the main tower, which is what I wanted. He does have Blizzard and Save Pilot, but the Holy Nova would ensure our Gargoyle to at least get a few hits on the tower. In general, we have a pretty favorable matchup against his Cairne, but he has the matchup with Tauren, because the Tauren will be able to shut down our Huntress quite effectively. The first mistake I made in this game is actually I didn't respond to the Cairne. I should have put something down to kill it. I thought the Rocket Tower will kill him in 1 or 2 hits, but if you guys count, I think the Cairne got another 3 or 4 hits on my tower, and as a result, yeah, I mean, I was a bit complacent because I was in the damage lead, so I thought I'd save some gold. and just take a little bit of damage. But yeah, ended up giving up more damage than I would have liked. I was still in the damage lead at this stage, so it was looking good, but I don't really have a good response to his spear troll if he stacks it behind his Cairne. Normally I don't use the Cobalt to protect my miner like this, but there was 3 gold on it, so it's a +1 trade, and he had a miner coming towards me, so it kind of served a good purpose in denying him. Went in with my Huntress to try to snipe the save pallet, and he does a good job in reacting to that with his Cobalt, so forced my save pallet out, and his Tauren was able to get a ton of value against our range units. Yeah, here he decides to Blizzard and made me use my Cobalt to distract. I think our Prowler got a bit of damage on his tower, so yeah, we are still in the damage lead at this stage. But the biggest problem is the Spear Troll. I don't really have a good response to it if he plays it right. In a head-on fight, I can't beat his Cairne and Tauren. This is normal time and his speed is fairly slow. Arguably, I probably shouldn't have done the Gargoyle. I should have played defense first. But yeah, this ended up being a pretty tough defense because he went with his Cobalt and he essentially had 4 units pushing into my tower, and 2 of them are really hard to deal with. I had to just put my Huntress at the back, and he blizzarded me, which took some tower. I could have definitely defended that better. And yeah, that didn't cost me the game, but it did cost me my damage lead at this point. And I screwed up my Holy Nova, obviously. Again, if my Gargoyle was on 1 level higher, my Holy Nova would have kept it alive and it would have got 1, perhaps 2 hits on the tower. So it's unfortunate, but the one level can sometimes be a critical difference against the top 20 player. Here I don't even know what I was thinking, but he kind of figured out Spear Troll's my weakest link, so he's got 2 on the map, as you can see. And yeah, again, my Gargoyle doesn't make it to the tower. It's always by a thin margin. Huntress does get a couple of hits, but I think, yeah, we're on the 10 seconds and I didn't have enough to defend against his Tauren. So we had to take an L there. Just to show you guys another game against an even level Cairne, how things would normally go. When the Spear Troll's even or lower level, you can just shut it down with the save pallet and it's a 3-for-3 trade. It's really easy. Or, you know, my Prowler would have dealt with it if he didn't Cobalt, but we've just got a lot better response against in a case of even levels. So yeah, we can snipe the Charlga against all melee units if they walk past, if they don't have stealth. I did give him a bit of Blizzard value. Well, at this point I didn't know he had Blizzard, so yeah, that kind of caught me off guard. But it's not the end of the world. So in this matchup, he has the Warsong Rider instead of the Tauren, so it's a better matchup for us. He also has the Raising Focus talent, so we do have Charlga, which can completely shut it down, and it'll make him use a Blizzard as well. But yeah, almost an identical match to the last game in terms of supporting units. He had the Spear Troll and the Blizzard as well. The flow of the game generally goes very differently. And in this case, I was able to be the aggressor and just start with my Gargoyle at the back. He was smart to pressure me on my main tower. But we do have Charlga, which will completely shut it down. It'll always make him use Blizzard or Save Palette or a variety of things, which, you know, will be an overcommitment. and we do have good responses against those units. That Blizzard was an overcommitment, and yeah, at that stage, once he used Blizzard, there was no way he could stop my Gargoyle, because Spear Troll is physical and Gargoyle has armor, and just the Spear Troll itself is not enough. And yeah, as you can see, with Holy Nova, we pretty much take his entire tower. But yeah, I don't think you guys need to see the rest. I think I'll just Holy Nova him to finish the game from this point on. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back with the next one soon. Bye!